Alright, in this video we will be finding the inverse of each function. Basically, finding the inverse has two steps to it. You switch x and y, and then you solve for y. Now, when I say switch x and y, if you're looking at this right now, you might be thinking, I don't see a y. Well, when I say y, this is what I'm talking about. Why is this grayed out? Give me my bucket. Alright, so this is basically y right here. So I'm going to switch these as my first step. So this is going to become x equals negative 1/3 y minus 5 over 3. Now I just need to solve for y, and that'll be my inverse. Now for me, the easiest thing to do is to get rid of some of these fractions. So I notice how both denominators are 3. If I multiply everything by 3, I won't have any more fractions. So I'm going to recommend that. So I'm going to multiply everything by 3. That way these 3's cancel out and these 3's cancel out. So now I have 3x. That negative sign is still there, so this will be negative y and minus 5. Okay, this is not so bad. I'm trying to get y by itself. Alright, remember my two steps are switch x and y and then solve for y. So that's what I'm doing, solving for y. So getting y by itself, I need to get rid of this negative 5 by adding 5 to both sides. So that'll give me 3x plus 5 is equal to negative y. Alright, I need to just get rid of that negative sign. So I can do that by dividing by 1 everywhere. Okay, so that'll give me y. And over here I'll have negative 3x and I'll have minus 5. So this is basically the answer, but in the beginning we didn't have y really. We had what was it, g of x. So in the end we're not going to use y, we're going to use g of x again. However, to show that it is now the inverse, not the original function, we put this little negative 1 on it. That means it's the inverse of function g. So here's the original function g. The inverse function is negative 3x minus 5. So that would be your final answer for number 19. Alright, so again, we're finding the inverse. The two steps are switch x and y and solve for y. Alright, so think of this as the y. So if I switch x and y, then that's going to make this x equals 2y to the third power minus 1. So I just need to get y by itself. I'm going to do that by adding 1 to both sides. So now I have x plus 1 is equal to 2y to the third power. Now I will divide both sides by 2. Just trying to get y by itself. Okay, so now I've got x plus 1 over 2 is equal to y to the third power. Now to uncube this y, I need to do the cube root of both sides. So I'm going to do a big old cube root on the left, and I'm going to do a cube root on the right. Now you don't need a plus or minus when you're doing the odd roots. That's just only for even roots. So that will uncube this y. So that's just going to give me y. So this is basically the answer. Okay, y equals the cube root of x plus 1 over 2. But we're going to use our notation and put the original variable back in. So originally we had f of x. So I'm not going to write f of x. F of x is already taken to mean the original function. So instead I will write f inverse by putting a little -1 on it. Okay, and that is your final answer. Alright, I guess I don't need this hanging around. So there it is.